Oh man, y'all, you can't make this up. What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. What's going on, y'all? So, again, like the video. Got to get them likes up. Got to get them likes up. Got to get them likes up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Thank y'all for all the support that y'all are giving me all throughout the time this channel has been operating, right? So today, I wanted to rehash some stories that I've told earlier, during the early days of my channel. And I talked about these stories before, but back then when I talked about them, I didn't have that many subscribers when I talked about these stories. So I'm going to bring it up again. And these stories tell about, my introduction to gangbanging in Chicago, Illinois. Right? And so here goes nothing, right? I remember these stories like it happened yesterday. So again, like y'all know, Chicago has always been a gangbanging city. Gangs have always been here. They've been thriving here for the longest of time. Outside of the Crips and Bloods, Crips and Bloods are, they were originate out of California. Now, a lot of the other major gangs, a lot of them, the headquarters for those gangs are in Chicago, Illinois. From Gangster Disciples to the Black Disciples, to the Blackstones, to the Vice Lords, to the Latin Kings. All these different gangs the headquarters are in Chicago. So, I knew about it growing up, but you really don't really know about everything until you have to know about it. Meaning when you get to a certain age where you navigating through the city and you have to understand what territory you're in and who is over where and what's what and, all this and all of that. And I remember I found this out when I was getting ready to go. I was in 7th grade. Now, my little sister had just graduated from kindergarten, I want to say a week prior to. And the kindergarten kids, they graduated a week before, like, we got out of school. The rest of the kids got out of school. Normally, my little baby sister is with me, and we're walking home together. But because she graduated, I think she was either with my grandma or an auntie or somebody like that, and I was walking home by myself. But before I even started walking home, the school bus drops us off at the local school, within our area. The local school by me was Arthur Ashe Elementary School on 85th and Ingleside. I was living right on 87th, like up the block around the way, right? So as the school bus is getting ready to drop me off at the nearest school in my neighborhood, I see a whole crew of dudes on the side of the street where I'm getting dropped off at, right? And I tell my mans, y'all know Kiefer Sykes. My boy got a documentary on Amazon Prime called Chi-Town. It's about him and his progression through playing basketball from high school all the way to college and being playing overseas, so on and so forth, right? Excellent documentary. Watch it. It's called Chi-Town. It's called Chi-Town on Amazon Prime. But nonetheless, KD, that's Kiefer. That's my best friend. I look and I see them dudes on the same side of the street I'm getting dropped off on. I tell Kiefer, I say, hey man, I'm finna have to cross this street. I can tell they on some bullshit today. I can tell. I can look how it was like 8 or 9 of them. And they look like they looking for something to get into. I'm like, man. So I'm about to have to cross the street, bro. So I get off the school bus. And normally I would walk home with my little sister and it would be another young kid that would walk with us. He was probably about 3 or 4 years older than my little sister. Right? So he about 3 or 4 years older. So she graduated kindergarten. He may be in like 3rd grade. 3rd grade. Yeah, like 3rd grade. I'm in 7th grade. So again, my little sister is not with me, but the young boy, he's walking home with me as well. And we cross the street and we walking. I see the dudes across the street. They start looking over in my direction. And I said, oh shit. They seeing me. They trying to size me up and they trying to see, who I am, and they looking at me. They looking hard. When the dude tap his man's like, hey, look, Look, check it out, check it. We look over here, right? And so I'm walking home with the little dude, and I'm like, man, they finna come over here and mess with me. So one of them come over across the street by itself. And I'm walking with the young dude. He say, hey. I ain't trying to turn around at first. But he keeps saying, hey. So I turn around. I say, yeah. He say, hey, what school you go to? I say, I go to Turner Drew Language Academy. Turner Drew was on 93rd and Princeton. Right by 95th and the Dan Ryan. It's Turner Drew in the middle of Princeton Park. Y'all know, anybody in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, know about Princeton Park. Is 93rd and Princeton, in the middle of Princeton Park. That's the little townhouses right by Trinity Church. Right before you cross the train tracks. Some townhouses on the right side when you going west. Across when you going west, headed towards Halstead. Some townhouses in my elementary school in the middle of there. But I don't know if dude not hearing me, because everybody know the high school is in Chicago. So it's obvious I'm not in high school. But you know, I got a little fitted cap on, a little do-rag on. I don't know, whatever. But this dude steady trying to... I'm like, man, he got to know I'm a kid. He seemed to not be caring, though. So after he asked me what school I go to, I tell him I go to Turner Drew. He said, oh, so you think it's sweet, huh? I'm like, what? What is he talking? Think it's sweet. So the young boy that's walking with me, he gets a hang. He catches on to him. He catches on to the fact that, hey, this is trouble. These dudes trying to cause trouble. So he starts, oh no. That's exactly how he did it. Oh no. He starts running, taking off, running home, right? And so everything in me wanted to go run home with the young boy, right? The little boy. Now these dudes that's messing with me, these are high school kids. I want to add. These dudes like 16 years old. At the time, I'm 13. I had just turned like 13 a little bit months earlier, right? So the young boy that's in 3rd grade, he runs off, runs home. I'm like, fuck. Now I'm out here by myself. The pride in me did not want to take off running with him. I'm like, fuck, I can't run. So I walk past the building where he even lives in. I thought about ringing the buzzer to try to come up in there. But I'm like, man, I don't know. They might catch up to me by the time somebody comes to the door. I don't know. I just kept walking. So my mindset says I'm going to walk to the main street. So if something is to happen to me, people on the main street can see me, right? So then he starts asking, the dude he's behind me. I'm trying to see how many feet he's going. He a little bit, he's close enough. He not right on me, but he close enough for real. He steady hollering stuff to me. The dude like, hey, where you live at? I'm not finna tell you where I live at, bro. I point like, I'm like down there somewhere, right? So he said, oh, so you really think it's sweet, huh? What? Man, I must have came to the edge of the block. I hit the edge of the block. I take off running, right? He hollering, hey. I'm running. I'm a little chubby little boy then, real little fat little chubby little boy. I'm hauling ass, running. There's something in my mind says, I don't know what it was. The pride again, that foolish pride talking to me. Some say, stop running. You got to live over here. Stop running, because I'm living right over here by the school area. I'm like, I might run into them again. So I'm like, I can't. I was like, something told me just stop running. I stopped running. The pride in me stops running. When I stopped running, I look back. This motherfucker, the dude that was behind me, hollering at me, trying to mess with me, he's on a bike with somebody. He's on the back of a dude's bike. And a dude is on a bike running and getting to me, right? So as I stop, they on the bike pulling up to me. So I'm like, fuck, I'm here now. So dude get off of the back of the bike. He with another dude that's as big as my father. The dude he with about at least 222, a little bit smaller than my father. He about at least 230. The dude that's right there, that's on the dude who bike he on, the dude is about 230. The other dude, he might be like 160 something, right? I remember him like it wasn't nothing too, because the dude, he looked like Chris Paul, which is why I hated Chris Paul for years. Because dude that tried to mess with me looked like Chris Paul, right? So the dude, so he got off the bike. I said, so what? I say, so what, y'all finna jump me now? So dude say, I mean, shit, I'll fight you my damn self, right? I'm like, man, yeah, I ain't. No, you ain't. Y'all finna try to jump me. So the dude on the bike say, how old is you? How old you are, right? I guess they got up on me and they could tell I look young now. I look like a little bitty baby at that age. I had the do-rag on and the little magnet earrings in my ear and a little fitted cap on. But you could tell I was a kid. So the dude on the bike, he had sense enough to say, how old are you? So I said, I'm 12, right? Now, again, I told y'all I turned 13. But I know in Chicago sometimes with that teen, you might be old and they might feel like you old enough to catch an ass whooping when you got teen at the end of your name, even though you're only 13. So I said I was 12, right? And the dude on the bike say, oh man, this is a little ass boy. This is a little boy, man. We ain't finna get on that, right? So the dude that looked like Chris Paul that was hollering at me, he like, nah, he stayed trying to get on that with me, right? I had a little watch on my wrist from Burlington Coat Factory that my mama got me. This watch maybe $10, $10, $15. Nice watch though, really, really nice. The dude, like the little Chris Paul dude, he stayed trying to mess with me. He like, hey, let me get that watch though. I'm trying to say anything so he can stop messing with me about this watch because I don't want to get his watch up, right? I'm like, I'm just saying, G, I'm just trying to get to the crib. He said, you said G, right? Now this is a lesson. At that time in Chicago, kids around my age, we 7th grade, people just saying G, because they hearing their older brother say it or older cousins or somebody say it. And I'm thinking it's just like some little slang or some lingo. When you say G, he thinking I'm saying I'm a gangster. Like I'm one of the GDs. When I say I'm saying G, he said, you said G? I said, oh no, I ain't say that. I say, no, I ain't say that, right? He like, oh, okay. I thought you said G. I said, no, man, I'm just trying to get to the crib, man. He like, let me get that watch though. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to get home, trying to get to the crib. So the dude, the big dude that's like 230, that's on the bike, 230, he like, man, hey man, get off that, man. It's a little boy, man. Let's go. This is a little bitty boy, right? So then dude like, all right. So as the dude that looked like Chris Paul that was trying to take my watch, as he walking off, he say, hey man, stay in school, man. Hey, stay in the house, man. Stay in the house. I'm like, what? He telling me to stay in the house. Now he's trying to give me advice about school and life and all. Bro, you was trying to rob me, bro. You was ready to rob me and do whatever to me. If your man, I believe if your mans wasn't here, you would have tried to take my watch and try to whoop on me, fam. Like, bro, I promise y'all, after that, man, when I got home so fast, I called my dad. My dad pissed. He came over there like, man, hey, man, if you see them, let me know where the fuck my dad is. Let me know where the fuck they at. You know, my daddy is heated because he knows I'm at that age range where now I'm getting my introduction to some gangs in Chicago, and you know I'm running into the BS with some knuckleheads around the city, right? Because as I told y'all, I didn't grow up in the suburb. I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I didn't grow up in the suburban areas. I grew up in the heart of the city, you know. And at the time, my father wasn't living with me, but you know, I'm with my mom. But shoot, he living in the hood. He in Roseland. He ain't no better. The best place to be was Washington Heights, where my grandma was at. And shit, Washington Heights had areas that was going up, you know. So, you know, again, I'm living in Chatham or whatever. And so I'm like, man, here we go. And so my mom had a friend that was a police officer. And he telling her, like, you know, Malcolm is at the age now where some of the young boys trying to recruit some of the young boys for gangs. And they, you know, he 13 now and all this and all that. And I just remember, like, man, I knew it. I knew, like, man, these dudes they finna trying to mess with me, man. I was so damn mad. I'm glad I kept that watch, though. I'm like, man, they look what my man, what Eddie Murphy say. At least they ain't get my cornbread. He still ain't get my cornbread. I had that watch on my wrist. I'm like, shoot, made it out with this watch, man. We all good. I got home with this watch and we straight. But let it have been something crazy like a gun. I'm giving everything up. I'm sorry, right? Another situation. Senior year, it's 8th grade. The next year after this, right? Me and my homie Kiefer, once again, we had just graduated 8th grade from Turner Drew. I'm living on 86 in Euclid, right by CVS High School. So right by Jeffrey. I'm over east now, southeast Chicago. Some people call it the east side. There's really no real east side of Chicago. It's southeast side, but we over east. So, you know, I had been going around playing basketball in the park a little bit since I had just moved over there to that area probably about 3 months prior to. So after we graduate, my homie Kiefer, he'd come see me on the bus. He'd come over to the bus. We come kick it on the weekend. We watching Sebastian Telfair through the fire documentaries every single day. Then going to the basketball court and going hooping for hours on end, right? After watching the documentary. So we getting familiar with the area. Everything cool. I'd have been over there 3 months. So my mama like, hey y'all, can y'all go to the store and get some little food items for me so I can cook for y'all? I'm like, cool. Mama give us the link card. It's the EBT card to go to the store. As we walk into the store, I see two dudes standing outside. One dude got his shirt off. He looked like he just scanning the scene looking for trouble. It's another older dude. Like the dude probably that was with him about 6'5". He looked like he maybe 17. The other boy looked like he about 13, 14 our age. And he looked like he on BS. On ultimate, like he just waiting for something. Like he waiting to mess with somebody. As we walking up, I got this sense. Like everybody in the hood got this sixth sense when you know danger is imminent. Like it's approaching fast. I promise you my danger radar went off. But at this point, they see us coming up to the store. I can't turn around. If we turn around, they're going to smell fear like a shark smell blood and water. So I can't be turn around and like I look like I'm scared. I got to keep going straight ahead. I'm like, man, I'm looking at Keith like, I don't know. We go up. The dude, the young boy that's our age with his shirt off, he like, hey, one of y'all got $2? We like, nah, we ain't got no $2, right? So he like, hold on. So y'all going to the store, right? But none of y'all ain't got no $2? Now we had $2 on us. We using the link card, but I definitely had $2. But how I'm set up, I'm not giving you no $2, bro. Because if I give it to you one time, now you trying to get my $2 every time you see me. This is gonna be $10. It's gonna be $20. You're gonna try to keep fucking with me until you can get everything I got. And I ain't gonna be nobody you picking on and bullying on. I'm not gonna be your lick. I'm not finna be your goofy. I'm not finna be your stain. I'm not. So, and I'm not tough or nothing, or I don't got no street bravado on me at all. I'm a young square kid, but I know better than to get his boy no $2. So we like, no, we ain't got no $2. He said, I bet. Since y'all lying saying y'all ain't got $2, when y'all come out this store, I'm whooping y'all ass as soon as y'all come out this store. Alright. So we go in the store. I'm trying to figure out the scenario of what's gonna happen when we get out this store. I know this big old dude is standing over this young boy. He's playing watch guard for him while when he trying to do all his crash dummy missions. He got a big homie that's overseeing him doing the crash dummy missions to make sure, the big homie watching him trying to get down on us and strong arm the dudes that's going to the store. So I'm like, man, look, I'm talking to Katie. I'm like, man, look, we can whoop on dude. But if the other dude come in, I'm bigger than Katie at this time. So, and Katie can scrap though. My boy Kiefer can scrap. But Kiefer was shorter than me at this time. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to just try my luck with the other dude. He way older than us. I don't know. I'm gonna just try to try my luck. But I know the other dude, we can take him together. But our dude ain't gonna let us jump on that dude. So he gonna swing and we gonna have to, I don't know, whatever. We might have to just go at it. So I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm trying to see. I'm looking at the door. I'm trying to see if the other big dude is still outside. I can't even focus on what my mama got on her grocery list and what she told us to get. Keep her remembering everything. Okay, your mom say get the eggs. She say get the milk. She say get the bread. He remembering everything. I'm not remembering shit. I'm not remembering nothing. All I'm thinking about is how we gonna handle this situation when we get outside this store. We get outside the store. And so, dude say, hey, y'all got them $2? We say, nope. He said, oh. So y'all ready for that? Y'all ready for this ass whooping then, right? And then he steps to my boy Kiefer, right? And so, Kiefer is closer to his height. So he steps to Kiefer. And I remember this like yesterday. My boy Kiefer came out the store. So in Chicago, I'm gonna say this too. You have to defend yourself in Chicago. Like confrontation was inevitable here. It was gonna happen. Especially living in the inner city, it was gonna happen at some point in our life. We were gonna have some conflict on several occasions at times. It was inevitable, right? But you have to stand up for yourself, but you can't be too tough. You can't be too timid. You can't be timid, but you can't be too tough. Because the moment you try to be too overly tough, that's when shit can go left. And it can go way worse than you ever anticipated. So Kiefer coming out the store, he's showing that he relaxed and he ain't worried about nothing. He eating his chips like this. Dude say, so y'all gonna take this ass whooping? He stepped to my boy Kiefer. Kiefer eat all his chips. He balled up his bag, throw it on the ground, and turn to him and say, yup, right? So then dude started laughing when he saw Kiefer get when Kiefer showed that he wasn't scared. And then I came up and I turned around Kiefer. I said, yup, definitely. We finna just get to the, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. He started laughing at us, right? He said, y'all must be new around here. He said, what y'all is? We said, we ain't nothing. We just hoopers, that's it. He said, y'all ain't in no game. We not. Now, at this time, I'm not knowing that this area is a heavy Blackstone area. It's what aka the Moles. This is where the Moles be at over here by CVS. I'm not knowing this, but you know, I come to find out that later. The boy is one of the Moles. He trying to see what we are. He didn't care what we was for real. We could have been the same thing he was. He was just looking for a reason to get on somebody's ass and mess with somebody to get some rank and build his rank up with his quote-unquote big homie that was overseeing him. He didn't care if we was one of the Moles too. He was going to try to get on that regardless because he didn't know us and he wanted to build up his rank, right? But when he saw we wasn't scared, but we wasn't overly tough with it, he respected that in a way, right? And he said, I ain't finna mess with y'all, man. Y'all probably just moved over here and I ain't finna mess with y'all, man. Right? And he tried to shake our hand and all this, shake our hand. Oh, man, I ain't gonna mess with y'all. I ain't gonna mess with y'all. Woo, woo, right? And it was so weird because had we had, like, if Kiefer would have been like, man, I'll beat your motherfucking ass. Boy, you ain't on shit out here. I'll whoop your ass. If we would have responded like that, if I would have been like, man, we'll beat your ass, bro. What's up? If I would have got on that type of time with him, it would have went up. He would have probably called for backup. He would have had his mans in there trying to jump us. It would have been crazy. He would have tried to go for the gusto at that point. But because we wasn't timid and we wasn't too tough, but we did just enough to stand our ground and show that we wasn't going to be pushed over and you weren't going to walk over us, he respected that in a sense, right? And so he backed off. And he said, I ain't finna mess with y'all. Y'all probably knew over here, woo. I'm going to let y'all do y'all thing, whatever, right? And I was like, this shit is crazy. Now I'm finding out I'm in territory where the Moles are, where the Blackstones at heavy. And then I'm finding out there's a certain way that you gotta, and I kind of knew this, but this is really when it made sense that there's a certain way you gotta defend yourself in the city to where you can't be overly tough, but you can't be timid. There's a certain line you gotta walk in order to be able to handle yourself out here in the city. And so it was just like, it was an eye-opening experience for me. And I was just like, man, this shit is crazy, man. Like, this is my introduction to, like, gangbanging in the city, though. Like I told y'all, like, you know, I was living in these areas, but, you know, when you outside and you outside with just your cousins, your sister and them, your mama and them, it's different when that is much different than when you're 13, 14 and you navigating through the city by yourself. You going to the park by yourself. You going to the grocery store by yourself. It's a whole different thing. And I'm looking like, man, and I know stuff could have went left. And I remember Kiefer, we trying to see how we was even going to play that situation. Because let's just say we started rumbling with somebody, right? We would have started rumbling with them dudes. The reality is I got to live over here. My mama just moved over there. So he knowing I got to live over there, Kiefer don't live nowhere near. Like, I mean, he not far, but he ain't around the corner. So it ain't like he can be with me every day. I'm my mama only son. I'm the only, ain't nobody for me to run to. My other brother, at that point, my brother, Michael J, Big Mike, he had got killed. And then my oldest brother, he was, and my brother had got killed away at school, fighting somebody. And the dude was mad, friend was mad that my brother was getting the best of him and his friend shot and killed my brother, you know. And then my other brother, Teddy was way older than me. So he had his own life to live. So it was nobody for me to run to. I was my mama's only son. You know, my brothers were from my father. You know, my father and mother went together. So it wasn't nobody for me to run to. And then I saw the same dude that was trying to get on there with us doing it to another dude. But the other young boy got way too tough. So he was ready to whoop on the other dude because the other boy, he was overly tough trying to defend himself, talking crazy, so they was ready to whoop on him. And he had a crew with him that day. The other boy, the boy that was messing with us, he had a crew about 4 or 5 boys with him, right? So I had to learn how to navigate through the city successfully within this gangbanging areas in these different arenas. And that was my introduction to the gangbanging that occurs within the city and me realizing that's the way I got to carry myself and walk. And it's the way I got to walk with a certain confidence, but not to be timid, but not to be overly tough.